Got Marlin Sims here getting ready for strength and conditioning work here. We're at the work gym in Hopkins, Minnesota here. So what's the agenda here today, though, my man?
Oh man, it's whatever the strength conditioning guy. And I hate strength and conditioning, but I love it. It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
So we got to see whatever he got on the agenda. He got a plan of how we do the workout.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get warmed up and whatnot.
So we're 2 weeks away from your fight, though, in Hinckley, Minnesota. So maybe just explain to your fans how do you feel about the fight, though, too, and what's on the line for that fight.
For this fight, I think the only thing at this weight class, at the featherweight division, I'm actually going to be taller than a lot of these guys, and I'm taller than this guy here. But I think he's somewhere around close to my height. Mm-hmm. So on that point, it'd be like an even playing field. He got a longer reach than I do. On box rec, it says that he got a longer reach. So, that's what I want to, I want to go ahead and, face these type of oppositions. Like I said, I had my second fight at 140 pounds. That guy was at my height, and he had probably about the same amount of reach and a lot more fights and things like that. And I was able to still do what I had to do, beat him on the skills. So that's what this whole game plan is going to be, is just continue to, get these dudes and dispose of them.
So what's the kind of the difficult part of this whole process? Maintaining the weight. Just keeping yourself in shape during this whole process.
I say the only hard part is the doing it. Like strength and conditioning for me, man, it just be certain workouts. We probably end up having to use that sled today. I ain't gonna like it, but I understand that's what makes the fight easy for me. So I always feel that the training is way harder than the fighting part. The fighting part is the easy stuff. The training is the hard part. So when I get in that ring and some of these dudes I beat so easy, I just feel like, damn, what the hell happened? Yeah. But it's because of the work that I'm putting in.
Yeah. So did you guys had your weigh-in yet, or is it next week?
The weigh-in to be Thursday, which will be the 12th of March 12th. So we had to do that one day before.
So what's like the hard part of the whole weigh-in process? Making sure to keep that weight there so you don't get into any trouble.
For me, it's not hard at all. I pick a weight that's fairly comfortable for myself. I walk around 139, so fighting at 126 isn't too big of a jump, I don't feel. I sit there and I just make sure I eat right. Like this morning, what did I have this morning? I made a peanut butter toast with my runny eggs on with kale. And I eat that for breakfast. And it might sound crazy, but it's something that tastes good, and it's all healthy items in there. And so for me, it's not hard. I thought that I would miss certain meals as much as I did. No, I eat stuff that tailor makes to making my weight easy, and it tastes good. I love peanut butter. So me adding peanut butter on my toast, mixing that with the eggs and adding kale to it, it makes it that much easier. So to me, it's not a struggle at all to make the weight. Yeah,
for sure, man, for sure. So little question, though, about last week's fight between Wilder and Fury 2. We kind of talked about it in the locker room, though, but let's maybe talk about the meat and potatoes of the whole conversation. Like, what was kind of the disappointing aspect about the fight, though, man? Seeing Wilder become vulnerable for the first time in his career.
Man, that shit hurt. That hurt. It wasn't even a fight where I was just like, okay, cool. It just took away. It was just like, damn, it just happened. I didn't, the losing part wasn't as bad as the aspect of what it looked like in the fashion that he lost in. That part was the killer for myself, because I like him as a person inside the ring and outside the ring. So that was my first, I felt like that was like the first loss I've ever had of a person that I truly liked.
Yeah.
In this boxing game. Other than everybody else, I could probably like somebody, but I ain't have that type of like that I like for Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
So that hit hard.
Yeah, man. It's like our own generation of Tyson and Douglas.
Yeah,
I heard
about people about that.
Yeah, 78 just will not talk about it to this day because it's too hard. It's heartbreaking to talk about because it reflects on what happened last weekend.
And I was hearing 78 said he probably only watched that fight one other time after. As I was watching the fight, I went to a little fight party. We all met up downtown, and I said, I don't picture myself ever watching that fight again, because I seen it, I analyzed it, and I just don't ever think I'll ever watch that fight again. Like,
yeah,
there's no way I need to go back and see something.
Right.
I just won't watch that fight again. Like,
so what were you? So let me ask you this though, from the boxer's kind of perspective though, what do you think the loss could do to a fighter? It could motivate them or bring them down.
It can motivate somebody, or it can break them down, and they'll never be the same. They'll never be what they once was. For me personally, the way I think that Deontay Wilder thinks, it's going to catapult him, because now he's back to that underdog, which he's always been the underdog to a lot of people with his skill wise. But it's gonna be like now they're expecting you to lose even more than they did before. Like, you had more people who thought he was gonna lose, or even said that he lost that first one, but they understood, and it was like, but I'm going with him for the second fight. You had a lot of people who thought he lost the first fight, said that he can't do this, he can't do that, but they also picked him to win.
Correct.
A lot of people did that, and they tried to like brush it over. So then when he lost, they stayed on the other side like, well, I told you this and that, a whole bunch of BS. But I think it's gonna catapult him back. He gonna come back stronger. If he didn't get hitting that ear and behind the head area,
yeah,
that whole area, then he still would have been able to have his balance. He'd have been able to generate that power, and that fight could have been totally different. It was just that he got his equilibrium knocked off.
That's
exactly. Yeah, he wasn't able to generate.
Yeah, exactly. That's because I told about this people even at my workplace too, that being hit in the ear is basically affects your balance, it affects your ability to maneuver around. Have you been hit in the ear like that?
I have not. I haven't had any. In my second fight, I got caught somewhere up here in this area.
Yeah.
It rocked me a little bit, but I haven't been hitting the ear where my equilibrium was like, I got caught here, it bounced around, had to shake it off for a hot second. Only time that I've ever been like shooken, I guess. Other than that, no, I haven't had any injuries or really had too many rocks.
Right. See, the thing, what I always tell people all the time is like, when you get hit on the ear, though, it shakes your equilibrium and your bounce. So in the third round, Wilder was still engaging mentally, but his body, his balance was not there. And that's what happens when you get hit in the ear. Your balance goes off, your legs are shaky, and he couldn't generate the power that he normally would, because if he never got hit in the ear, he would still have a chance to get the knockout. Because
and that's where it went. Like, everybody's like, well, he just got his ass. Well, yeah, you can't do anything. Mentally, you're here, but your body isn't, firing off the way it needs to.
Exactly.
So that for Fury continued to put on that pressure and kept hitting him. It looked bad, but ultimately, say if he'd have landed that shot and didn't knock off his equilibrium and still came with that same power, Wilder would have reacted differently because his body would have been, in the right condition. But
right,
it is what it is. Like, yes, he lost. It looked bad. I ride with him on the next one. Put my money down on it. And come, he gonna come back. He gonna get a bigger bag. I'm gonna get a bigger bag because I'm gonna bet on him. He gonna be a bigger underdog. And it is what it is. I'm still riding.